Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are going to be going through rest of season running back rankings. I know a lot of people have been devastated with all these recent injuries. We're going to be taking a look in a tier ranking of all the running backs rest of season regarding strength of schedule, projected snap counts, and rookie increased usage rates. So let's get right into it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's just put in Jonathan Taylor, RB1 going forward. He is going to be in our top tier. In half of his games played so far this season, he has finished as a top two PPR running back. He has just been a complete menace on the ground. The Colts are continuing to dominate. They should be able to control the pace of play, and with their upcoming schedule, especially within this AFC South, they will be in positive game strips. I don't see any reason why Jonathan Taylor should not end the season as the rushing king and overall fantasy RB1. Going on to the next, let's put Bijan in the same tier as Jonathan Taylor. He will be our RB2 for the rest of the season. I know the Algier usage rate has been a little frustrating, although Bijan has been dominating. As you can see here, Bijan is on pace for 1,300 rushing yards and 1,100 receiving yards. Just insane markers for a running back. If he keeps up this efficiency along with those receiving touchdowns, he can well earn himself the top two running back and solidify himself in the same tier with Jonathan Taylor. Going on to the next tier, we're going to start it off with Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to be the RB3 for my personal rest of season rankings. The Lions' offensive line is still banged up. I know they're on their third offensive tackle, but the usage rate for Gibbs has been substantially increased as of late. Jahmyr Gibbs, 70% snap rate in week 6. It was also the first time he had under 10 fantasy points in over a calendar year. So I wouldn't make too much about the Chiefs' defense stifling this Lions' offense, and going forward, Gibbs is going to be a workhorse. And up next, who else? CMC. I know this is a little lower than most people, but as the Niners continue to have injuries, I don't think their offensive production is really sustainable, especially with Mac Jones. But the receiving targets are absolutely insane, as you can see here. 10 targets, 7, 15, 11. I mean, these are great for wide receivers, and CMC is putting up these numbers on a weekly basis. He got his first rushing touchdown this past week in week 6. I would expect that to be a trend that continues. So imagine how good he can be if he actually starts pounding them in the red zone on the ground. And moving right along, we will go with Josh Jacobs. He is still in the second tier for me. The schedule opens up very nicely for Jacobs. He is a bell cow as far as usage goes, and he's probably just going to continue to have these 2 touchdown games. Maybe not the greatest efficiency on the ground, but one thing's for sure is that Matt LaFleur loves to run Jacobs, especially inside the 10-yard line. And now, RB6 rest of season, we're going to go with James Cook. So James Cook finds himself in this tier. James Cook, many expected them to continue the same usage rate with Ray Davis, Ty Johnson spelling him all the time. That has not been the case. James Cook is getting a hefty workload. They paid him all this money, and they're using him correctly now. So he is a 3-down running back. The touchdowns, I do think, will probably come down as far as the mean. He was scoring every single game, especially with Josh Allen probably vulturing some of these touchdowns. I wouldn't expect too much, but the efficiency on the ground is just too much to handle. As we can see in the snap counts, he's still above 60% per game. He was never reaching this last year and still finished as a top 10 running back, so the sky is the limit here. So on to our next running back, De'Von Achane. He will find himself right after James Cook, still in the same tier, but De'Von Achane has pretty much been as solid as they come. You know what you're getting with him every single week. You're getting those Tua checkdowns. You're getting the wide receiver 2 for the Dolphins, essentially. As you can see, the weekly finishes, He hasn't finished outside of the top 17 running backs any given week. He's as safe as they come, volume monster. Although they still are using Ollie Gordon in the red zone, I don't think that makes such a big difference where you're going to be ranking him super low. The Dolphins are going to continue to have to play catch up with this defense, so Achane continues to be one of my favorite running backs going forward. And now we go into a different tier here. I know, shocking. RB1 of last year, but Saquon Barkley finds himself as the RB8 going forward. This Eagles offense is just simply broken. I don't know what has happened to it, but inside the 5, you're getting 0 Saquon touches. You're getting only Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert, shockingly. So although there is room for improvement for Saquon, the efficiency on the ground just has not been there. Also, if we're looking at the eye test, he just seemingly doesn't have the same burst that we saw last year. Could be a product of missing O-line, but overall, unless this Philly offense really regroups and has a coming to life, I'm just kind of hands off as far as a top 5 running back with Saquon. And next we got the rookie phenom, Ashton Jeanty. If you took him inside the RB5, RB6 range, you're still a little disappointed, but as of late he's been ramping it up. Pete Carroll's been kind of a man of his word, giving him 20 carries a game all of a sudden. Now their offense is starting to look a lot better. Should have been doing that since day one, but I digress. Ashton Jeanty has definitely looked the part. This Raiders offense should, in the back half of the year when they get Bowers back, should move a lot better. I'd expect more scoring chances for Jeanty, and he always has that big play ability to break one off from 50 or 60 yards. So Jeanty finds himself as the RB9 going forward. And into the last of the top 10 within this within the same tier is Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry owners, you're probably pissed that you have him. You think you're the one holding the bag. He's washed, he's this, he's that. I would stay super patient with him. I think this schedule opens up a lot, as we can see. We got Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. I mean, I can go on and on and on. The Ravens are going to be in positive game strips probably for the next 2 months. The schedule really opens up and it's going to favor King Henry going forward. He is kind of a product of positive game scripts. When they're up, they're going to use him a lot, and that's when he's most efficient. So definitely kind of temper your expectations from the first 6 weeks, and this should be a whole different season for Lamar, Derrick Henry, and the Ravens going forward. So definitely a good buy low spot for Derrick Henry. And rounding out this last tier is going to be Kyren Williams. Kyren has been really hot and cold as of late. I know Puka's probably going to miss this next week, which takes a hurt on this offense. But going forward, Blake Corum hurt his ankle. I wouldn't expect him to get much involvement over the next 2-3 weeks. Running backs with ankle injuries usually like to stay out or just have limited usage. So Kyren Williams is getting treated as a bell cow. He is also getting lots and lots of targets in the pass game. So I'd be really thrilled to have Kyren as an RB1 or RB2 going forward. I think he's as safe as they come on a Rams kind of potent offense. So now we move into the next tier. Our first running back in this tier, rounding out our top 12 going forward, is Breece Hall. Breece had a terrible game in London. 24 carries, though. I'm not going to be too ashamed by that. Assuming Justin Fields can figure it out just a little bit, just move the ball a little bit, Breece Hall will be a monster. There is a chance he gets traded at the deadline, which would also be great for fantasy, but that's not why I'm ranking him here. It's mostly due to Braylon Allen missing all this time. Breece Hall is going to kind of soak up all those new touches, which he has been doing, over 20-plus opportunities in the past few weeks. And this schedule really opens up in the near future. As we can see, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Patriots. Next 4 games are just absolute dream situation for Breece Hall owners. Breece should be able to get it done on the ground. It's a great buy low spot, and he should continue his dominance in a contract year prove it. And up next, we got Bucky Irving. Yes, I'm sad that Bucky is this low in my rankings, but unfortunately, can't control injuries, and he's probably going to be out another 1 to 2 weeks with this shoulder injury as well as his foot. I know it's definitely the minor issue. The fact that he was in a boot, though, is not a great sign. It's also not a great sign that Rachaad White actually looks very good. I think when they come back, they're not going to force 20 plus touches onto Bucky's workload. They're going to keep it somewhat balanced, maybe a 60-40 split here with Rachaad White, who has been proven to be good inside the goal line especially. So I'm not sure Bucky's going to get his full bell cow usage, but as we can see, it says that Bucky Irving could miss 1 to 2 more weeks, and in a fantasy playoff push, you can't afford to lose 2 straight weeks. But going forward, Bucky should be very safe, just outside my top 12. And up next, we got Quinshon Judkins. I know the rookie running back has been a sensation for the past few weeks. However, with Dillon Gabriel, he's really slowed down his production. I'm expecting Gabriel to find some rhythm, be able to move the ball just a little bit more. That would really help out Judkins. Judkins, when they were playing in Ireland, should have had 2 touchdowns. One was called back. Another, they just ended up dialing up a tight end screen after running it the whole drive. I digress, but Quinshon Judkins, another big schedule play. So if you look at this Browns schedule, I know the Browns are bad, but they do have a chance to kind of control tempo in these games. We got Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, the Ravens defense, which has really been bad, Raiders, Niners, Titans. I mean, if you're looking for a running back to buy on the cheap, get your hands on Quinshon Judkins. He should be a monster going forward. They continue to kind of only use him in the ground game. Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson, although were pretty good in the first few weeks without Judkins, are simply just afterthoughts as of now. So Judkins is definitely firmly in my top 15. And rounding out the top 15 in this same tier is Cam Skattebo, the absolute menace, kind of the Bucky Irving of this year's fantasy football. Day 2 fantasy pick here in the NFL draft. Skattebo has just continued his dominance. And with Tracy coming back, he really has not been a factor. I know coming back from the dislocated shoulder is one thing, but as we can see the snap count in week 6, Skattebo was 74%. And 74% is one thing, but another is that he absolutely is the heart and soul of this team. They need him on the field at all times, and with Dart playing how he is, I wouldn't be shocked if Skattebo finished the season as a top 10 running back. And rounding out this last tier here is Travis Etienne. Started off super hot, has definitely tapered himself down with some low efficiency on the ground. However, the passing game and receiving yardage targets have all been super, super promising. I would still be holding Travis Etienne going forward. The Jags have proven that they're going to win with defense in their running game. So I'd expect them to keep that same dynamic and the Jaguars to kind of keep steamrolling some gritty wins here. Etienne will be counted on. He is the red zone running back, which is good news. I know in the past few weeks, Lawrence has kind of vultured some touchdowns away from him, but he's due for some positive regression, and Etienne should be a very, very safe low-end RB1, RB2 going forward. And now we move into the next tier. So our first running back of this tier is Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt. I will just be calling him Bill. He runs so hard. He's PFF's number 1 graded running back so far on the season. He's able to kind of hit all these holes that this Washington offensive line is kind of creating, and with Jaden being a read option threat, JCM is going to be an absolute beast, especially in the red zone. With Daniel still coming back from this foot injury, I doubt they're going to try and run him in the red zone when they have Bill. Bill should have lots of touchdowns in the near future, and his usage is only going to go up. And onto our 18th running back rest of season is Jaylen Warren. If we have a look at this chart here, Missed tackles forced. Jaylen Warren is just in a league of his own here in the top right. He's been about as efficient as they come. You can see him towering over Jonathan Taylor and the other elite running backs. He has just been insane, and his production, especially in the receiving game, has been insane. I know they're just easing him back in. Kenneth Gainwell still got some work against the Browns, but Warren against this stout Browns defense averaged the most yards per carry that they've faced all season long. I would not be worrying at all, and he is probably going to be a top 20 running back guarantee going forward. And on to our next running back here is J.K. Dobbins. So a lot of people wanted this RJ Harvey takeover. It's not happening. You might get some Harvey in a blowout game, but when the Broncos need a win, they are turning to J.K. Dobbins. Yes, we could focus on the injury risk. Yes, I know J.K. Dobbins isn't the pinnacle of health, but injuries aside, while he's still healthy, J.K. Dobbins is a top 20 running back. And we can see in the snap counts here, he's been 50% in almost every single game of the snaps, only in week 2 and week 4 here. And that's just kind of a product of them being in blowout games. When they're playing the Eagles, he is in 53% of the snaps. They trust him way more than they do Harvey. And RJ Harvey, only 2 carries in this game against the Jets. I'm not seeing too much usage unless Dobbins were to go down. So Dobbins is a very safe running back going forward. And rounding out our RB20 in this tier is Kenneth Walker III. Ken Walker has just been up and down, up and down. Very concerned about the usage, to say the least. He got out-touched once again by Zach Charbonnet. He is the more efficient running back. He can hit the home run any given week, which makes him kind of a weekly must-start. But the Seahawks offense is the main reason why he is in my top 20. They continue to push the pace, and they're scoring points at a rapid rate. You want players on teams that score a lot, obviously. And just because the touchdowns haven't come for Ken Walker as of late isn't a reason to kind of stash him on your bench. Zach Charbonnet might profile as the kind of goal line running back, but Kenneth Walker can hit the home run from anywhere and should really be able to open it up in the next few weeks. And moving on to a very polarizing running back here, we got Alvin Kamara. I still think he's very safe in PPR formats, but Kendre Miller, his usage continues to increase. We'll go right back again here to this snap count chart. So as we can see, Kendre Miller, back-to-back weeks of almost 40% of the snaps. I think when you're drafting Alvin Kamara, you're expecting him to be in that 70 to 80 range for snap percentage, but it's clearly not the case. The Saints are probably going to kind of look to rebuild this roster going forward, and as they continue to stack up these losses, I wouldn't be surprised to see if they just give more leeway to Kendre Miller to really see what they have in the running back room going forward. And into the next running back, we got Jordan Mason. So another running back in a committee. However, Aaron Jones, there hasn't been much new news about him returning back from this hamstring injury, but it is kind of a tall task for him to come back from a hamstring, being over 30 years old as a running back. I wouldn't have too high expectations, and Jordan Mason, despite the fumbling issues, has been probably as safe as they come with the volume. So I think when Aaron Jones comes back, he's still going to get his 12 to 14 touches a game, which makes him a safe top 24 running back every single week. And if you get J.J. McCarthy back, if he starts to improve, this offense becomes more productive. I mean, Mason has been very solid, and this has been in the Carson Wentz offense. So I still am bullish on Jordan Mason as the running back of the future for the Vikings, and I think they know that as well. And from one committee to another, RB23 in this tier. In a new tier here, we got David Montgomery. So Monty has been disappointing against the Chiefs, but he is a strictly matchup-based play for me. When they're in positive game strips, when they're in games where they're going to win by 20 or 30 because they keep the foot on the gas, David Montgomery is going to have a great week. However, when they go against these tough run fronts, these tough front fours, It kind of profiles as way more of a Jahmyr Gibbs game, and they are able to realize that. But the one thing that's been positive about Montgomery is that they're actually using him in the passing game. So in years prior, they really haven't. They've just had Jahmyr Gibbs on third downs every single week. However, in the recent kind of last 3 weeks, Montgomery's been getting catches, been getting targets. So he is still a safe volume play, but definitely matchup dependent going forward in these positive game scripts. And rounding off our top 24 running backs rest of season is TreVeyon Henderson. I know. The usage has been absolutely horrible, but going forward with no Antonio Gibson, and the schedule is absolutely insane. As we can see, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks, Jets, Bengals, Giants, they are going to be favored in probably at least 80% of these games. And when they're favored is kind of a more sign to use this rookie running back, get him in space, maybe see what you got. I know the Patriots coaching staff will never punish Ramondre Stevenson, no matter how many times he fumbles. But TreVeyon will be in this 10 to 14 touches per game just off sheer volume with no Antonio Gibson. So you're kind of hoping that this efficiency will be able to come through. Ramondre only averaged 1.8 yards per carry against the Saints this week. TreVeyon was much more efficient on the ground. Hopefully this continues to be a trend, and Henderson showcases his talent and proves why he's the running back of the future for the New England Patriots. And hopefully we see that linear growth for Henderson, and he should be able to take over at least 60% of the work going forward in the season against these terrible opponents, and could potentially be a league winner. All right, everyone, that concludes our top 24 rest of season running back rankings. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions about kind of your running backs going forward, who you should trade, sell high, buy low, leave a comment in the comments below and subscribe for more. That's all, guys. Thank you.